Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have some really interesting news to go over. Now, I'm not going to BS you guys, most of this will be speculation. We do have some confirmed facts, but the facts that we have are very vague and they don't give a ton of information. But once you hear these facts, I'm sure that you'll be on board with me and thinking that something massive must be happening here. So Sledgehammer Games, who were originally supposed to be the developers for this year's Call of Duty title, have been on a massive hiring spree. To quickly retell the tale of Black Ops Cold War, apparently behind the scenes it was going to be Sledgehammer Games and Raven Software co-developing Call of Duty 2020. This was supposed to be their year to make a Call of Duty title, just like they did previously with Call of Duty World War II and Advanced Warfare. Basically, Sledgehammer is supposed to be the studio that releases a game in between the Infinity Ward titles and the Treyarch titles, but this year something went wrong, apparently, because the development of this game, which was also said to be in the Cold War, was apparently so bad that Activision had to step in and appoint Treyarch as the lead developers of the project, with just 9 months to go until launch, while working from home during a global pandemic. That was a pretty tall order, and it really does speak to Treyarch as a studio that they were even able to revamp Sledgehammer's title into a Treyarch title and just make everything fit into place, but essentially that was the last we had heard of Sledgehammer Games. They were supposed to make this year's title, something went horribly wrong, Treyarch had to step in, and we haven't heard from Sledgehammer since. Well, recently, the COO of Sledgehammer Games took to Twitter to announce that they have hired over 150 new people to work at the studio, and on top of that, the official Sledgehammer Games website still has over 65 job positions currently available. That adds up to over 200 new people all at the studio should those roles get filled, but what Sledgehammer said next was even more interesting. They say, and I quote, "We're now a multi-project studio, and we're looking for a substantial number of new team members to join us. We're looking across every discipline and various levels of seniority. It's a pretty exciting time for our studio." So from the sounds of it, Sledgehammer Games is now working on multiple projects at one time, presumably within the Call of Duty world. About 10 months ago, I made my video covering some leaks that were suggesting that Sledgehammer Games was working on a secret project for 2021, and I want to revisit that quickly right here. The leaks said that alongside Infinity Ward's new game, which is set to come out in 2021, Sledgehammer is also going to be releasing their own standalone, open-world, free-to-play Call of Duty title. Now keep in mind, those are just leaks. Nothing about that is confirmed, but those were the leaks at the time. Unfortunately, not much news has come out regarding that since, but the prospect of a free-to-play open-world Call of Duty title definitely sounds interesting, but at the same time, it also sounds a whole lot like Warzone. So is it possible that Sledgehammer Games will be taking over massive aspects of the development for Warzone going forward, or is it possible that the leaks were wrong and Infinity Ward is not making a game for 2021, and rather they're going to be given an extra year and Sledgehammer Games is going to be releasing their new title instead? As of right now, we really don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I am all for a sequel to Call of Duty World War II. The game was insanely good, at least in my own personal opinion. It only got better after they started listening to the community and revamped the entire division system. And the game itself, if you remember, focused heavily on the European theater. Right? So another World War II themed Call of Duty title would not be the worst thing ever, because it could be focused on the Pacific theater, and that would be perfect in my opinion, right? It would add so much variety to the Call of Duty franchise. This idea isn't exactly a new one, but since we have those three main developers, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer, just make it so Infinity Ward is working on the modern games, Treyarch is working on the Cold War / Vietnam, maybe even Korean War style games, right? And then have Sledgehammer work on the World War II games. It's really that simple. It would be amazing. I am all for that personally, but since we are so far away from the release of Call of Duty 2021, we really have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, Black Ops Cold War just came out. The official launch was just about a week ago when Season 1 came out and the game actually started feeling complete, so it's a bit early to be speculating so far into the future as to what the next Call of Duty title is going to be, but information's out there, man. There's lots of leaks, things are happening, things are moving around in the Call of Duty franchise, and I wanted to discuss that here today. I also feel as though So in an ideal world, the Call of Duty franchise would take a year off and let the developers actually finish their titles for launch for a change, but knowing Activision, that likely isn't going to happen. If Activision is so set on jamming a new release down our throats every single year, releasing it in a super buggy state like we've seen for the past half decade, then they're probably going to keep doing that, right? If they're making enough money from that. But if they're going to be going down that road, then I think the variety between 3 studios alongside the extra development time that 3 studios would allow would be the best possible move. Going back to what we talked about earlier, with the falling out that Sledgehammer apparently had making Call of Duty 2020, it kind of left fans like myself wondering if Sledgehammer was even going to be a main studio going forward, or if they were going to be a side support studio like Phoenix or Raven Software. I think it would be good for Sledgehammer Games to get another shot at making a main entry in the Call of Duty franchise. I think they actually make good games. Advanced Warfare was not my cup of tea, but the thing about it was the gunplay was really good, and the score streaks were good, and the maps were also pretty good. I just really wasn't a fan of the supply drops or the exosuits, right? And then Call of Duty World War II came out. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. Even before the Division's overhaul, I enjoyed the game quite a bit, and then the Division's overhaul happened, and then the game got infinitely better. So I like Sledgehammer as a studio. I think they can make some quality Call of Duty titles, and if they were to make another World War II themed game, that would be incredible. And also having them as a main developer would mean that Treyarch and Infinity Ward get an extra year of development to put together their games, so everybody kind of benefits from the 3 developer cycle, right? As compared to if they were to go back to the old style of having Infinity Ward game, then Treyarch game, then Infinity Ward game, then Treyarch game, so on and so forth. I mean, I think we've seen with Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War that these developers cannot put together a proper functioning Call of Duty game in 1 year's time anymore, like they could back in the day. And it blows my mind that's actually the case, by the way. Games like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, so on and so forth, were all made in 1 year's time. Well, basically, anyway, like I said, it's a weird system. So let's say, hypothetically, they release Black Ops 1. Then, right as soon as Black Ops 1 is released, they begin work on Black Ops 2. So they basically have 2 years, because, of course, Infinity Ward's game comes out next. But still, that really short dev cycle, they put out such quality bangers year after year after year. And now, recently, even though they're given more time, they release games that are super buggy and super incomplete and feature tons and tons of issues. It's really mind-blowing how that works. I get that the games are a lot bigger now than they were back in the day, and there's a lot more moving parts and things going on, and studios working with other studios and co-development and so on and so forth, but it doesn't excuse the fact that back in the day, Call of Duty titles just worked, whereas nowadays, they don't. They're releasing with less content than ever before, and they're usually super buggy with tons of issues, tons of balance problems, and tons of glitches. So definitely pretty interesting. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, going back to it, Sledgehammer Games is hiring a metric ton of new people, and leaks are saying that they're going to be releasing something in 2021. And as always, I will be here with you guys every step of the way as this story develops. But for right now, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, consider leaving it a like. Leave your thoughts and feedback down in the comments. What do you think Sledgehammer is currently working on? And what do you want them to be working on? Leave your thoughts and feedback down in the comments. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.